It's war. It's one damn thing after another. It is important for every journalist writing about serious matters to be in a prison. Great to smell fresh air of London again. A black box has been applied to my life. The US administration's war on whistleblowers must end.
Assange left a British prison on Monday and flew out of the United Kingdom,
bringing an end to a years-long international saga.
Tonight, Julian Assange is on the brink of being a free man. The WikiLeaks founder reaching a deal with US authorities that's expected to see him come home to Australia. It's the news his supporters have been agitating for, and it brings to an end a 14-year ordeal. After 5 years in prison, 7 years of asylum, today WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange finally tasted freedom.
This period of our lives, I'm confident now, has come to an end.
It's been 14 years since Assange first made international headlines by releasing more than 500,000 classified documents relating to the Afghan and Iraq wars, as well as shocking footage of a US airstrike in Baghdad.
I believe that if those killings were lawful under the rules of engagement, then the rules of engagement are wrong.
It's been one hell of a saga. 2010, Sweden issues a warrant for Assange over alleged sexual offences, charges which are later dropped. Fearing an arrest in Sweden could mean extradition to the US, Assange seeks asylum in the Ecuadorian embassy.
As WikiLeaks stands under threat, so does the freedom of expression.
Assange spends 7 years inside the embassy. He skateboards, is visited by Pamela Anderson, fathers 2 children with his lawyer Stella Morris. Met Police spend 3 years stationed outside, waiting for their moment to pounce.
7 years without charge. Why my children grew up without them.
In 2019, Ecuador revokes its asylum, leading to this dramatic arrest. The UK sentences Assange to prison for skipping bail, and the US files 17 espionage charges against him over the leaked documents. For the next 5 years, Assange fights extradition to America from behind bars as his health deteriorates dramatically.
The conditions he will be under will be so oppressive that it will drive him to take his own life.
In Australia, the tide turns. Years after Assange faced criticism from the highest office, politicians now campaign on his behalf, pressing the US to drop its charges.
There is nothing to be served by his ongoing incarceration.
Then today, an unexpected breakthrough. Assange now on his way to the island Saipan, a US territory, for a hearing expected to finalise a plea deal. The WikiLeaks founder agreeing to plead guilty to one of the espionage counts against him in exchange for his freedom.
Without your support, this would have never materialized the day of Julian's freedom.
Julian's brother, Gabriel Shipton, is in France right now, from where he joins us. Gabriel, did you ever think this day would come?
Well, I mean, it's pretty overwhelming, Waleed. I didn't really think it would come. I've been in contact with Julian over the week as he, prepared to get on this plane and was preparing all the back and forth with this. And he's been, incredibly anxious, but also very excited, and very relieved that this fight is finally over. It's incredible. Fingers crossed that everything goes smoothly and that, he can feel some Australian sun on his face in the next couple of days.
I can imagine the relief, the excitement, all of it. There'll be a million different emotions. I have to say, this caught all of us by surprise. Like, it's one of those things you just, sorry, what? It's over all of a sudden like that. What was it like for you?
Yeah, I mean, just totally overwhelming, Waleed. We've been fighting this fight. It's been a bloody long slog, and we're just very relieved and excited to see Julian. Feels so good for Julian as well that he'll be able to just do something normal, like have a meal with his family and recuperate. It's taken its toll on him, this long fight, and he needs some time to rest. and get some energy back and get better from the toll that this has taken on his body and his mind.
And extraordinary things like meet his children in the flesh. Like, that will be extraordinary.
Yes, I mean, they're so cute, those two little boys, Max and Gabriel. I'm so happy that they're able to, well, hopefully be back with their father any day soon. But yeah, can't say thank you enough to everybody who's been working on this behind the scenes, the grassroots supporters. The Australian media has been incredible in raising this issue continually, helping the public understand what's really at stake. So a big shout out to all of you at the project as well. I know you've covered this relentlessly over the years.
The plea deal is for time served, but Julian Assange is officially guilty. Was that a difficult thing for him to accept?
Yeah, it's hard for me to comment on the plea deal until it's totally finalised. We need that to go smoothly to get Julian home. So I don't want to comment too much on the plea deal, but obviously Julian has spent the last 13 years detained in one way or another. Being out of prison it's saved his life. This plea deal has saved his life, and I think we have to look at it like that. And really, the effort from the Australian government in coordinating everything and getting this deal together and Julian on a plane, we're very thankful for that as well, and to all the Australian people who it wouldn't have been possible for the government to do this without their support as well. So I think we're just so relieved that Julian is free now and he's survived this ordeal, which I think is, he's an absolutely amazing man for just surviving this, let alone all the work that he was able to accomplish with WikiLeaks.
Gabriel, I'm struggling to wrap my own head around this. We can see in your face, your smile, your joy at the hope that Julian's going to be here very, very soon. What do you hope life is like for you? I mean, you'll be able to sit at a dinner table together, you'll be able to go to the movies together. Like, does that feel real?
Yeah, Julian, I think his life has changed now. If we look back 13 years ago, when he was initially detained, he didn't have this sort of fame or notoriety that he does now. So I'm not sure he'll be able to go out and enjoy a film. He did speak, about maybe going out at night when there's nobody around and visiting some of the places, that he loved in Melbourne or around Australia. So, yeah, can't imagine what it's going to be like, but looking forward to that journey nonetheless.
I don't think anyone would begrudge you that joy, Gabriel. Thank you so much for speaking to us, and he's hoping the deal gets closed.
Yeah, thanks again to you all as well. Thanks so much.
Barnaby Joyce was among the group of politicians who campaigned for Assange's release. Barnaby, how did you feel today when this news landed?
Well, I was very happy that an Australian citizen who never committed a crime in Australia, was not a citizen of the United States, was never charged in the United Kingdom, was coming home. Now, I'm not here to make a statement about the morality or otherwise of WikiLeaks. What I can say is, if it was your son or daughter, would you want the legislators in Australia to act on their behalf and to try and get them home? Mr Assange has spent 5 years in solitary confinement. That's 23 hours a day locked up in the highest security prison in England and 1 hour a day out. Now, I think some people came to the process of this that it's enough. For me, it was extraterritoriality, that Australian citizens have got to be protected by their citizenship, which means that if you haven't gone to another country and in that country offended their laws, if you're not a citizen of that other country, you're a citizen of Australia, then you come back to Australia.
I suppose this was a really unusual case because it was in the context of a war, and so you get these national security arguments that you don't get in sort of other cases. There are things to do with repatriation treaties and all that sort of stuff, and so you get all these layers of it. The US's argument all along seems to have been the problem with this is that, the espionage, right, it endangered lives. And that it was a gross violation of their national security. Do you reject that position that the US have been offering?
Well, Waleed, I'd say that, was it Mr Assange who broke in and stole the information? No, it wasn't. Who did it? Well, Chelsea Manning. did it. Is Chelsea Manning now in prison or is Chelsea Manning free? Well, Chelsea Manning's walking the street. So it all starts to fall over. And then you ask the question, and I did ask the question, was any person killed or hurt by the actions of what Mr Assange did? And they said, well, and this is from America. They said, no.
So, Barnaby, he's not a free man yet. What happens now? Is there a chance something could maybe happen to stop all this going through?
Yeah, that's why you've got to be circumspect. You've got to always... Don't start waving at the crowd in a 1,500-metre race when you've gone 1,200 metres. Wait to the end.
We've seen a bit of that lately, actually, Barnaby. It's a very, very good illustration.
Yeah. I'll just close on this. Because it's a felony, it has to be plea dealed on US soil. That's why it's going to Saipan. It's not a misdemeanour which you can just plea deal from a third country, and therefore the plea deal will be done then. Then we hope we see this Australian citizen back in Australia. And those are the bells, and that's my job, and I've got to go to that division.
You have wrapped up the interview brilliantly and professionally, Barnaby.
Thank you very much.
He just left.
He's gone.
Who really did?
I wanted to... If I just take this off, can I go? Is that how that works? All right, see you guys.
He wrapped it up really quickly.
How
a day,
amazing, yes.
Yeah.
Such a strange coalition of people who came together to work for Julian Assange's freedom. Such a changing of perception from a lot of the public, but also from politicians, but around the world.
Yeah. I think it was quite symbolic the way that Barnaby left there, because to me, how quick that was how quickly that this all happened. It's like we've been waiting for years to us. Years and years and years and years and years. And then we woke up with the news this morning that, it's...
But also, am I the only one who's holding their breath because he has to go through this US territory?
But I think a lot of people have been cynical from the whole way through. So for today happen, I think a lot of people have that view as well.
I'm prepared to say I'm not worried about that part of it.
I think so.
Like, I cannot imagine a scenario where this happens and it becomes this big a story and the world's watching now and then something happens now. I can't imagine that. Can you really imagine that?
No, Princess Diana, I can't. Do you know what I mean? There are forces in the world, is what I'm saying.